finally, it looks like we might have a good window for the crossing of the Bay of Biscay down to Spain. It feels like we've been here now forever in Amaranth, but yeah, I'm not complaining. It's a pretty nice place to be stuck at. So a lot of the boats here in the marina are also preparing now for the crossing. It looks like we're leaving day after tomorrow, and yeah, probably we will have to motor for the first 15 hours or so, but then the wind should fill in from the east, so we will have probably a broad reach all the way down to Spain after that. A lot of people say that October is the worst month of the year for doing this crossing, and I have to concur. I mean, I've been doing this crossing at all seasons of the year, and I have never waited this long to find a suitable window for doing the crossing. We've been here for almost 2 weeks now, and yeah, that's just how it is. But so I'm really happy that we can get going. Another thing that people are really worried about, besides the weather, is all these orca attacks that are happening down in Spain and Portugal at the moment. It's been going on for almost 2 years now, I think, but lately it's been escalating, and just in the last week there's been 4 attacks, and all of those boats have lost their rudder and steering, and have to call the Coast Guard and asking for a tow. So of course that's something that you're a bit concerned about. I'm not really concerned about the integrity of the actual boat, but losing steering, and could be bad as well, especially if you have yeah, bad weather or high winds and high seas. So I really hope we can avoid that. So people here in the marina and on the internet and everywhere are talking about what can you do to avoid this. Yeah, the official recommendations is that you should stop the boat, take down the sails, stop the motor, turn off your electronics, or at least the depth sounder, and keep your hands off the steering wheel and just wait until they go away. And if you have the chance, you should film them, especially their dorsal fin, so they can see which orcas are yeah, are taking part of these attacks. But of course you're thinking, what can you do more than that? Because there's quite many boats where they, even if they have done this, they will stick around, and eventually they will damage your steering on the boat, the rudder. So I've been thinking a bit, as all the boats here in the marina, and reading up online on what you could do. And one suggestion that I found was that you could have a metal pipe hanging in a rope, put that into the water and banging on that, so you create some sound in the water, and maybe that could scare the orcas away.
Johan and Vera just came back from the store, done some provisioning. I've been working on the video. I'm almost done. This passage has had the most planning and discussing of all of our passages so far, I mean this time. We have a weather window, but it's not perfect. But it's probably the best we can get this time of year. We are 5 boats who will be leaving tomorrow, and we've been talking a lot. Yeah, the weather is like this today, but tomorrow is gonna be better. And we'll be leaving. The wind has shifted to northwest, and it's still very windy, and we get these rain showers with a lot of wind in, and then the sun comes out again. So it's not very stable weather, and we'll see how much the sea has calmed down tomorrow in the afternoon when we plan to leave, after all the wind today and these past 2 weeks.
It's still pretty windy. We have maybe, I don't know, 25 knots or so. But it should calm down during the night. And hopefully also the sea.
We went out for pizza on our last night in France. It's the morning of our departure day. We're at the fuel dock now. Then we'll head back to the harbor, which is just behind us over there. And we will stay on the outside of the dock until we leave. The French boat left at 3 a.m. To ride the current at the Cap du Ras. We will take the next chance, which is 3 p.m. today. And they've sent us a message that the wind and sea state is good. So yeah, sounds promising. The wind has come down significantly during the night. Look at that fishing boat. Full speed. Oh ja. Det luktar också. Det luktar från den. Gammal fisk. Old fish. Bra.
$113 liters for 183 euros. So 162 per liter. Looks a bit cheaper over here. I tried to start this pump first. Here it's 56 cents per liter. The fisherman's diesel, but unfortunately you need a special card or a code, I think.
Now we're gathering the Swedish fleet here on the same dock. It will be easy to leave later.
And now we're going to wait for a couple of hours because at the next cape down the coast here, the current runs pretty strong today, up to 6 knots, so we need to time that. So now we have 2 to 3 hours to get the boat ready, have some lunch, and yeah, and then we will leave. This will be the first offshore sail with this boat, so I'm pretty excited. So fingers crossed, no orcas. Other from that, I think it will be a great sail. How does it feel?
Exciting. Really excited to come to Spain, but also a little nervous about the weather, but I guess mainly about the orcas.
Yeah.
Since they are right in this area in Galicia now where we are going to. But who knows, they might have moved when we get there on Saturday. We'll see. I hope so.
Yeah, I really hope so.
We are waiting for the last boat to leave the dock. The Scandinavian fleet is sailing south. 3 Swedish boats and 1 Norwegian.
That's my ideal house out there. That would have been so cool to live there for an autumn or a winter, to experience a major storm living in that house, the lighthouse or the lighthouse keeper's house on that tiny island, just a rock.
Vad ser jag för någonting här? Ingenting.
We're just about to pass Point du Ras, and yeah, this area is really a place that you need to plan before you sail through, because there can be quite a lot of current here, around 6 knots, and that can create pretty steep waves, especially if you have the wind against the tide of the current. Pretty decent speed at the moment, doing 11 knots over ground. So I think we have 5 knots of current with us, maybe a bit less.
Eating some popcorn, and Vera will go to bed soon. It started to rain now, so the visibility is quite bad right now. In a couple of hours we're gonna talk to the Scandinavian fleet on the VHF. We have set a time at 9 in the evening and 9 in the morning. It will most likely only work tonight and tomorrow morning. Then let's see if we're too far away from each other when we start sailing.
So it's 6 o'clock in the morning and we're still motoring, and yeah, right now we're about, I don't know, 80 or 90 nautical miles south from Amaranth, and hopefully the wind will arrive around noon from the southeast and give us a good, nice beam reach towards La Coruna and Galicia. It's been a pretty uneventful night. Yesterday evening was kind of gray and a lot of rain, but right now there's a lot of stars, and it looks like we'll have it will be a sunny day today once the sun is up. We had a lot of dolphins during the night here, and you know, when you heard that sound when they come up and breed, of course you couldn't ignore the feeling that it could have been an orca, but I'm not sure they go this far north, at least not the pods from Spain and Portugal.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun is almost up. Maybe it's up already, but it's hidden in some clouds. We are 3 boats that are still close to each other. Steinar, the Norwegian, he needed to slow down a little bit because of something with his engine. I'm really glad because I haven't been seasick and I haven't even felt nauseous. It's all thanks to Sture that I got a chart of the Sture pills from the French boat. That's really kind of them, and wow, it really helped. And I have tried that before and it helped me then too, but we never found them so we could buy ourselves. But now I really have to buy, so we have a stash of that on board. So I feel much more energized. I've been able to eat and drink like normal, pretty much. So we got we're eating breakfast now. Yogurt and some whole wheat cereals for Vera, and some yogurt and muesli for me.
Någon borde stå där. Du till. Ja, alltså. Jag vill nog skära lite till och det på.
So it's 10 o'clock in the morning and finally we're sailing. We're hard on the wind, close hauled, and we have apparent wind of between 16 and 18 knots. And right now we're doing 7.9 knots over ground, so very good. The whole fleet is in the area. And the French boat Kerguelen has also joined us. So the plan is to keep heading south as much as possible until early this afternoon, around 1 o'clock. And then we can turn a bit more and maybe have a beam reach for this afternoon. And then the wind should turn a bit more later this night, so hopefully we can have a broad reach, but I'm not hoping too much. We'll see.
It's not easy to move down below when the boat is heeling. It takes so much effort. And when seeing it like this, it looks quite surreal. We've been out for almost 24 hours now. Now it's 3 o'clock. It's a bumpy ride. Right now we have the wind coming in we're sailing on a close reach. The wind is around 17, gusting to 20 knots. And tomorrow it will be gusting to 30 knots. I was so happy this morning that I hadn't been seasick or even nauseous, but then it hit me. Despite the Sture on, I don't know, maybe because of the increased sea state. Tack. I took another pill now, a whole one. I've just been taking a half before. Hope it will help. We're healing quite a lot between, what is it, 10 to or 15 to 30 degrees. That was the 15-minute alarm to go out and have a look again.
Over there we have Josephine, and just behind them we have Sture, the two other Swedish boats. And just over there in that direction we have a French sailor. I think he came from Lorient. And then behind us, about 10 nautical miles behind us, we have Steinar, the Norwegian sailor. And I think more or less in the same area as he is, the other French boat is the Kerguelen with Jeremy and Gail. Vet du var han är, han som ska sitta där? Sailing has been good, but pretty yeah, uncomfortable. Now it's a lot better. We have 235 nautical miles to go to Murus in Spain. So hopefully we'll be there early Saturday morning, day after tomorrow. And hopefully without any damages to the rudder.
We were now halfway into our crossing, and our second night at sea was approaching. Join us next week when things get a little dramatic. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy our videos, we would be very grateful if you'd consider supporting our production.